silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan.
Good morning, people of the grid. It's first day of the week, bright and early. Had a bit of driving to do. I've got a trip to San Francisco and beyond, and I'm leaving the car here at the Calgary airport in the parking lot, which is exposed. It's outside. Leaving it here for 5 days. And I had a bit of driving to do this morning, so I've kind of left it there with 217 kilometers. It's about at half, 52% on the battery. Let's see what happens over the next 5 days, shall we? All right. I'm going to San Francisco. It's going to be nice and warm over there.
All around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
Hey, people of the grid, just landed in San Francisco. So here's what I'm going to do. Every day, roughly about the same time, I'll check in on the Light Runner and see how it's doing. I left it parked at the airport this morning with 217 kilometers of rated range. That's 135 miles. I checked it like a second after I walked in through security, and it was down by 1 kilometer, 216, but we'll call it 217 because that's what I left it at when I walked away from the car. And so for the next 5 days, I'm just going to check in and see how much it's dropping each day. When I come back home on Saturday, I'm just going to jet over to the supercharger in Calgary. We'll top it up, and then I'll head home, start my weekend. Morning, people of the grid. It's one day after leaving the car at the airport in Calgary. I've got the info, I've got the numbers. First thing I did, check the temperature. It's cold. It's -8 Celsius. It's twice as cold as it was last week when I left. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to the range drop. Here it is. Check the car, and we only lost 19 kilometers of rated range from the moment when I parked it yesterday, which is about the same as I lost the first day when I went to Santa Monica. That day I lost 20 kilometers. Yesterday, last night, I just lost 19. So I lost slightly less, twice as cold temperature, which kind of tells you that as soon as you get below that, 2 degrees, 0 degrees Celsius range, your range drop is kind of locked in. I think until you get to about -15-ish or colder, then there may be a bigger loss, but not bad. Lost 19 kilometers, 8 miles. Temperature is -8. We'll check in with the car tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Miker, out. Good morning, people of the grid. Day 2 away from the Light Runner. Interesting things are happening back there. I checked the temperature. It's sitting at -8 Celsius, which is exactly the same as yesterday. That's 18 Fahrenheit. Then I went over and checked what my range was. How much did we lose today? And today we only lost 10 kilometers or 6 miles. Now, that's pretty much half of what I lost the first day. That's exactly the same thing that happened last week when I left it. So it's almost like day 2 and onwards is not as big of an impact as the first day. That leaves me with a whopping 188 kilometers of range, 117 miles in the car. Plenty for when I get back home. Quick note, I checked on Tammy's because I usually log in to warm up her Model X to take the kids into school. She forgot to plug in last night. If you're below 75 kilometers of rated range, about 40 miles, the heat won't come on. You want to remember that. Good morning, people of the grid. Here's the deal. It's Thursday. This is, so I left on Monday, so Tuesday was one day, Wednesday was the second. Today's the third day leaving the Light Runner in the freezing cold, and it got colder last night. The temperature in Calgary was -13 degrees Celsius, which is about 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, it's interesting because even though it got colder than the day before, the car still lost about the same as yesterday. It just lost 1 more kilometer, so I'm down by 11 kilometers over the previous day versus 10, the day before. Now, notice the snowflake that is on the app for the car. That's telling me that the battery is cold. So before I get, full usage out of all of the capacity in the battery, I'll need to warm it up. That's okay. I'm just going to wait for that until tomorrow night when I get back home. So taking a look at what happened, we lost 11 kilometers, which is about 7 miles. The temperatures were minus 13 Celsius, which is about 9 Fahrenheit. That leaves me with a total rated range left of 177 kilometers and 110 miles, which is more than enough to get over to the supercharger. I mean, I could even get all the way home, I think, with that. But I got to go do some Christmas shopping. So when I get back tomorrow, going to the supercharger. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Actually, I'm going to have breakfast. I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Morning, people of the grid. For me, it's day 4 away from the light runner, and I got the numbers of the day. So as usual, the first thing I check is the weather back home, and it is a balmy minus 12 degrees Celsius. Works out to 10 Fahrenheit. It's cold. Then I checked on the car, and just like yesterday, I see the snowflake on the battery, and we lost a bit of range, just a tiny bit more than yesterday. So we lost 12 kilometers over the 24-hour period, which is really not that bad. So to sum it up, for day 4, we lost 12 kilometers, which is about a 7.5 mile loss. The temperatures were 12 degrees Celsius, which is 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And that leaves me with a whopping 165 kilometers of rated range, which is about 103 miles. That's not bad. I'm getting back there late this afternoon tonight, so there's going to be another 12 hours. So it'll kind of be like 4.5 days that I've been away from the car. So I'll give you another report at the 4.5 day mark, and we'll wrap it all up with some details on the numbers. Overall, not bad considering. So I've been gone not quite a week, but I left the car at about just over 50%, or just over 50% at the airport. So didn't do too bad in the colder weather at all. All right, training, and then I'm going back to Calgary. Ooh, it's a lot colder here in Calgary than it was back in San Francisco. All right, so as I was coming in, we were on the runway. I took some readings, basically got the temperature. It's 1 degree Celsius. It's gotten a lot warmer here in Calgary. And in that roughly 12-hour period, so half a day from this morning, I only lost 1 kilometer. Not a big deal. So I imagine if it was another half day, I might have lost 1 more. So interesting, because here's where I ended up. So after dropping it off for 4.5 days, almost 5 days, I dropped it off at 217 kilometers. That was the 135 miles. And I lost a total of 53 kilometers or 33 miles, leaving me with 164 kilometers, 102 miles. Not too bad at all. If you run the percentages, how much is that of my total battery capacity? I lost 12.7%. So 13% in almost 5 days. Again, not that bad. Clearly, the colder it gets, the more you're going to lose. If it's not as cold, you won't lose as much. So interesting experiment. Anyways, I'm going to let the light runner juice up here for a while. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat because I'm still far from home. And then I'll see Tammy and the kids tonight. All right, guys, it's been fun. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Miker, out.